Hello and welcome to the midweek edition of Journalist Hangout, your #1 news and current affairs program on television. I'm Ayodele Osubaku. Today on the program, Supreme Court adjourns the trial of Imo North senatorial matter over a petition accusing the Apex Court judges of having a nocturnal meeting with PDP members. Also on the program, a new report says the Islamic State of West Africa province attacked Nigeria 112 times between January 1 to March 17th. I'll be hanging out with Babajide Kolade Otitoju and Dotun Oladipo. So if you're ready, let the hangout start now. We begin today's program on a very, very interesting note. Let's begin by wishing Mrs. Christiana Ola Otitoju happy 81st birthday. Grandma Christiana is the mother of our own BKO, Babajide Kolade Otitoju. And she's also an ardent supporter of Journalist Hangouts. So on behalf of Daddy Kolade Otitoju, who is also ardent viewer and fan, he has been here, I think when Daddy was 80, Daddy was here with us, we say, happy birthday, Mama. Babajide, it feels so good. Mama is aging gracefully.
Baba gave you an assignment.
Okay. Oh, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Yes, Mama, I've fulfilled your assignment. Let's sing happy 81st birthday to our grandma, Christiana Ebolua Otitoju.
And congrats to your husband, High Chief Allah of Ekinade. Kolade Otitoju. Thank you for taking good care of Mommy, and we wish Mommy good health in her old age. We thank her exceedingly for the way she brought all of us up and her love for humanity. Ayo has fulfilled the mandate that you gave him. So let Ayo's gift come immediately.
Doctor, it's always like this. When you see the parents and when you see the offspring, you can connect, because there's no house if they've not given BK this kind of upbringing and very, very strict, training.
Yeah, usually it rubs off. You can see it very quickly. I've not met Mama before. I've not met Papa before. But it's always obvious the kind of, the way Yoruba would put it is, what you have literally translated, vomited into your child, will come to play in years to come. If you don't give a child the required discipline and mentoring at a young age, you definitely can't expect anything good. But when we see those who are doing well and the way they carry themselves, we know where to go.
So that we balance it. Even Wumi Otitoju and others on behalf of
Dr. Tokunbo.
Everybody, on behalf of everybody, we wish Madam happy
first birthday.
And Iyabo as well.
Ijabo, Otitoju. From all the Wumi is my very good friend.
It's a troublesome one.
Very troublesome. She's the one that sent people to the block industry on Facebook.
Yes. She has a thriving block industry.
So once again, we say happy birthday to our mother, Mrs. Christiana Ola Otitoju, and Papa, we say thank you, well done for taking care of Mama till now. She's 81, and we're going to celebrate. Thank you. Moving on now. Another episode has evolved in the drama trailing the Imo North senatorial election. The Supreme Court of Nigeria has adjourned sitting indefinitely in 2 appeals filed by the All Progressive Congress APC and Chukwuma Ibezim over the December 5th, 2020 poll. The adjournment came after a petition against 3 of the 5-man panel of the Apex Court, led by Justice Musa Dati Mohammed, accusing them of secretly mating and conniving with some members of the People's Democratic Party. Jide, this is getting messier. What is the meaning of this?
It's politicians behave in strange ways. They make all kinds of claims. I will not say that it's impossible for Supreme Court judges to meet with politicians, but when you make this kind of allegation, you must be prepared to defend the allegation. You must be prepared to bring out facts. Remember, before the governorship election in Edo State, Mike Igini, one of the most stubborn individuals that I have ever seen in public office in Nigeria.
Yes, it's a wreck now. Resident
was accused of having meetings with PDP members with the intention of rigging the election for the PDP. In anger, he decided that he was going to court, going to ask for a few billions. The spokesman of the APC who made that allegation has been begging since then. He has publicly apologized.
Because he couldn't substantiate it.
Yes. Clearly somebody told him to go and issue that irresponsible statement. Now, confronted not just by the defeat of the candidate of the APC,
bring out the
which is a big pain, and then the election is gone. Of course, the court matter is there. Unfortunately for them, on the day that they claimed that Igini was attending that nocturnal meeting, Igini was in Lagos. And he had evidence to show that he was in Lagos, he was not in Benin at that time. There were people that he was with. So he knew that he would not be able to defend that matter in court. He had to apologize. Remember also that recently, the former national chairman of APC apologized in 5 national dailies to Governor Tom. All kinds of things that Tom was accused of doing. He has apologized for saying those things.
Oshomole has apologized.
Oshomole apologized in 5 national dailies. You say, I'm sorry for all that I said against you. The problem is when you say these things, sometimes people don't get to even see the apology that you have issued.
Yeah.
You know? So a lot of people will go on with the feeling that what you said was actually true. Whereas you've just said rubbish with the intention of destroying someone's integrity, hard-hand integrity. So we have a similar thing. Now, my own concern now is the national caretaker chairman of APC, who was alleged to have issued this petition, has said that he knows nothing about it, that it did not come from his office. The lawyer of the APC has also said, look, I do not know anything.
Supreme Court judges.
Yes.
And out of 5, 3 of them.
3 of them met with PDP. Meanwhile, the matter in question is not even related to the PDP. It's just APC between themselves, you know, before the Supreme Court. It's not a PDP matter. They are not a party in those 2 cases. So how did the PDP come in? It just seems that sometimes people look at some judges of the Supreme Court and conclude that if we cannot eliminate this person, we are not likely to get the justice that we want. So it seems that a rabble-rouser somewhere just sat down, wrote that petition against the Supreme Court judges. Because now that everyone, even Ahmed Raji, the lawyer to Ararume, has said that he does not know anything about it. Everyone is saying no. That it didn't matter. So how did that petition get to the Supreme Court?
Involved in that kind of thing.
How did the letter get to the Supreme Court judges in the first place? Now that everyone is saying no, it didn't come from me. I don't know anything about it.
Doctor, what is happening here?
Well, It's just the same issue we've been talking about. Do we really have political parties in Nigeria? Or just a gathering of men who want to get into power by any means? It's so obvious now that we've not come of age in terms of organizing ourselves into political parties in order to assume power and better the lots of citizens. There are a few things for me in all of this. Number one is what I've mentioned. Who are these people, talking about this issue in court, and what is the aim? The whole aim is obviously to swing judgment, whether rightly or wrongly, in the favor of one of the two contending parties. Like Babajide said, this is just a matter within the APC. The party said one of them, Chukwuemeka Ibezim, is the candidate for the election. A former senator, Ifeanyi Ararume, has gone to court to say, look, this man my party presented lied to INEC in his declaration in the forms he filled, and as such is not fit to be a senator. It started from the lower court, and it got judgment. Federal High Court, Court of Appeal.
Who got judgment? Ibezim?
No.
Ararume.
Ararume got judgment.
Okay.
Now this case is in the Supreme Court. It's dragging. And it appears one party is scared that this may not go in my favor. Then this letter comes. Everyone has denied being author of that letter. Or being aware of the existence of that letter, including the lawyers of both the APC and Ararume. Ahmed Raji and Umekalu, both of them senior advocates, they said, we don't know about this letter. So it means even within the party, the lessons we ought to have learned since 1999, which the Independent National Electoral Commission has been shouting about, that until there is order, especially internal democracy within the parties, we are going to keep having issues and issues and issues. Festus Okoye, the National Commissioner in INEC, has been shouting. See, about more than 80% of the cases in court over electoral dispute has been internal within parties, not party to party. Because what we are even discussing in the Supreme Court is a party-to-party affair. It's a dispute within them. It's a dispute within them.
They just couldn't organize it.
They couldn't. So what the PDP, which they are accusing of, which they are saying, look, this judges met with, is waiting for, is just to stay in the wings and say, look, we can be the beneficiary of all of this.
Yes.
That's all. And the PDP is not even a party in this matter. So how have we failed to develop in this electoral process? It says a lot when we don't eventually get dividends of democracy from all these candidates that these parties put out for us. Because it means they are not a political party. They are just a group of people looking for a means to have access to power. And the bad news is this. The contending parties in Imo North, they are rich.
They are all very rich.
So are we saying that they can fight it out? So it's not the money that they are looking for, it's the power.
One of them took a private jet on the day judgment was given in Owerri. He took a private jet, raced down to the place to get another court to stop the implementation of that order. They've been using the court. I've never seen politicians like this. They've been using the court to fight against themselves, to block themselves. Yeah. Look, APC went into this contest without a candidate.
That was it. No candidates.
The moment it appeared that a court... Yes.
Something about
I will explain how it transpired. The moment a court validated one candidate, the other person went to invalidate him or get another court to stop the implementation of that order of the court. Meaning that technically both candidates were not candidates in the election. In the certified true copy from INEC, listing the candidates that would take part in the election, the column for APC was blank. That's also a first. And naturally, you then ask yourself, how did the INEC then return APC without a candidate as winner of the election?
That's another question.
That's because that's what PDP is waiting for.
Now, the PDP is saying that, look, the APC has no candidate for that election, and that because they had no candidate, the PDP that came second got more than 30,000 votes, should be declared the winner of that contest. Since by INEC certified true copy, 14 parties took part in that election. But the column, that's the certified true copy of the list of candidates that INEC presented, the place in the front, in the name of the APC, the column for candidates was blank.
Okay, so I have Case Andrew calling us from Imo State. Thank you for joining us.
Good evening. Good evening. My name is Kenko Sandu Kingsley, and I called you from ISWAP. ISWAP is a local government in Okigwe zone, Imo North senatorial district.
Okay.
It is quite unfortunate where we have found ourselves. Like Babajide, you rightly said. You see, I blame this whole thing on INEC. INEC should not shy away from this responsibility. These people went into this election, the APC, without a candidate, from the judgments they got from this to the election. Now, in the history of Nigeria, INEC declare a party winner of an election and nobody is a candidate. And you want us to be happy. And as I speak to you today, instead of okay, APC had no candidate in this election. The first runner of which is the People's Democratic Party, they should have been sworn in. So if these people go and settle their case in court and come back, we'll know what next to do. Nobody is laying bare the yearnings of my people. In Isubam, as I speak to you, there has been a very big problem in my local government. Somebody was killed allegedly by police. A police station was burnt. People are being kidnapped. Who is talking about it in the Senate for us? Nobody is talking about it. My people have a whole lot of problems. There's nobody talking about it because we don't have a senator.
Thank you, Kesan. Thank you for your contribution.
They've had representative since 2019 when the representative died. It took almost 2 years.
Now, to even
do the by-election.
The people of Imo North,
yes,
this senatorial district now, you've disenfranchised them, automatically from that from
representation.
Yes.
Now, how many days out of 4 years?
You have just like 2 years left.
You've lost like 2 years.
And they still don't have a candidate.
And they will be elected.
The guy that won the original election died shortly after the Senate opened for business. Yes. Now, we have to wait until December 5, 2020 to do a by-election for somebody who died over a year before then. Why did it take that long to even do a by-election? Now, we had the by-election. APC could not organize itself. They couldn't put their house in order. They had parallel primaries. One of the primaries produced Frankie Bezim, who is the candidate of the governor. The other one produced Arahume. And the two groups effectively stopped one another. You know, when INEC is confronted by that kind of ruling from concurrent courts of concurrent jurisdiction,
their legal departments will be working there and trying to see.
No, and they did it. They did it hours to the election.
Hours.
So effectively foreclosing the possibility of a court declaring someone the candidate, and they did it on purpose to themselves, to the point that a court cannot sit. If just a few hours to election, you got order to block someone from contesting, someone from your own party, then effectively both of you cancelled out one another. That's what we've seen. And why it continues to happen in that party is the problem. When you talk about these things that, look, how long will it take to organize themselves? They will say you hate the party. Jide hates the party. You know, and that kind of rubbish that people say, oh, he doesn't like the party. But look at what is happening. This sort of situation was what led to the crisis that they had in Zamfara. This sort of situation led to the crisis that they had in Rivers.
Oh, they don't accuse you of being APC again.
No, some people too in the PDP. In fact, one the other day on your Genesis wall said Babajide is the spokesman of the APC. So another person now said, Ajide, it happens on the job. APC will abuse you, PDP will abuse you. The bulk of the people who have blocked me on social media are APC extremists. Now, they don't like me. The PDP people too. They also think that I'm a problem. So what is the issue? It means that I'm doing the job dispassionately, and it makes me happy. But the truth is, how can a party be doing this to themselves? When you speak about it, is a way of saying, look, we must have parties respect their own rules. We must have parties organize themselves competently. It's not a question of hatred, because when this happens, look at it now. As far as the PDP is concerned, they are just waiting. They are waiting to see what will happen. And another thing, you know that Ibezim has been disqualified by the lower court and then the appeal court. So it's looking like Ararume and Okewulono of the PDP, they may eventually be the last two standing, except the Supreme Court overrules the lower court and the appeal court on the issue of Ibezim allegedly presenting fake documents. So at the end of the day, the APC has put itself in another precarious situation.
Dotu, there was a time I was speaking with one INEC official, and I was meant to understand that these off-season elections, that they don't want to be doing it in bits and pieces. At the point in time, they want to consolidate, put everything together, and it's always very expensive for INEC to conduct this off-season election. So somebody now said, why can't INEC read part of the electoral reforms that we're talking about? Once the court nullifies, or once somebody dies like that, since your party is a vehicle in which you rode to the Senate, can the party unilaterally now choose somebody to replace you instead of a formal election to be conducted? And
well, that's the challenge. That's the challenge we're having here. In this case, that's the challenge we're having. That the party itself has two candidates. Who knows if the person who came second in their primaries is favored by the powers that be,
by even the masses.
The masses,
because the party alone cannot determine who should be there. You have to take it before the masses.
Exactly, because it's Nigerians that are voting at that time.
So
no longer the party.
You may be the choice of your party, but the people may not like the choice of the party.
Over and over, the Supreme Court judgment so much favor the party that we think, oh, if the party is the main vehicle.
The issue you should look at is this. Same thing happened to PDP when it was in power at the federal level. There was this fire everywhere. If you look at all the contending parties in this issue, they've changed parties over and over.
Many times.
Because they are looking for wherever they can grab power.
Convenience.
So it for me, it shows that
it's not about service.
It's not service to the people.
Desperation.
Our campaigns are not even issue-based. You go there to campaigns, what they do is...
concern is that the issue is that the court should determine who is the candidate of the party in the light of the setback that Ibezim has suffered. And Ararume also wants, because since the INEC said that it was APC that won the election, Ararume wants INEC to go ahead and issue him a certificate of return.
Okay,
that is so concern.
This bill. Let's take this break. When we come back, we'll discuss more. It's still journalist Hangout. Please stay with us. Don't go away. It's your #1 news and current affairs program, reaching you live from Television Continental. That's TVC News, the station of the year. I'm here. I'm still with Babajide Kolade Otitoju and Dotun Oladipo, and we are looking at the crisis in Imo North senatorial district. That's over that senatorial contest that was held on the 5th of December. Babajide, in all this, if we have to play back everything that happened, who are we going to blame for this catastrophe?
For me, if we are to look at the whole thing, again, I will blame the leadership of the APC. They should have been able to put their house in order and arrive at a candidate.
Yes.
After the election, you can try to reconcile people. But a candidate, you should have been able to arrive at a candidate and then get others to withdraw whatever cases that they have in court. If you are incapable of doing that, and you are leaders of the party, it means that you are not competent.
To resolve the crisis.
It means that you do not have any form of grip on members of your party. Once the party settles for a candidate, because I know that the NWC of the party opted for Ibezim, who is the candidate of the governor. Once the party has decided on someone, you should now get the other people
to rally around that person.
Rally around that person, work for that person.
Yes.
A situation in which you left the matter hanging to the point that other agreed persons now went to block the emergence of the candidate of the party is what put the APC in this mess. That's what put them in this mess. So now, somebody was telling me that, okay, that the parties that are recognized. Have we ever seen an election without a face?
Without posters?
Without an individual contesting the election? There has to, I know that a time will come when this same Supreme Court that made us to believe that parties are the candidates, parties own the votes, not the individuals. Meanwhile, we've seen people, deliberately, even where a party is very strong, decided to vote against that candidate of the party because that was not the person that the people wanted. The people ultimately will vote for who they think will best serve their interests.
That's why some people, when they are rejected in any of the two major political parties, they will go to one obscure party and they will win the election.
Many people won election in PRP, in Bauchi, different places. PRP, small parties.
Ifeanyi is from the People's Redemption Party.
Yes, no?
He won the senatorial.
He won with YPP. This Odo man, Oshaprapra, Makinde won with the SDP. Yeah. So if it is simply parties that win elections, how come people go to small parties and win elections there?
Doctor?
Well, I certainly know that there is still a lot to be done. What we are getting now from all of this is a clear indication that people are going into government not to serve the masses.
Why did you think INEC would declare a party without a candidate?
We've seen so many strange things in Nigeria. So for me, because when you look at other places where such things have happened,
Abi?
The case of Zamfara in the general election is a good one, where APC had it all going.
Overwhelmingly, State House of Assembly, everything. National Assembly.
And then a court has said, look, these are not recognized candidates.
Don't have candidates across the board.
And the PDP was given the nod to occupy all levels of government. And it is still going to keep happening until we get to a point, like I've said, where we can properly organize ourselves as political parties and know this is the direction in which we are heading. For me, we don't have political parties now. What we just have are people coming together to use a particular to just get into position and do whatever they want.
I have Godwin from Calabar. Thank you for joining us, Godwin from Calabar.
Can you hear me, Ayo? Can you hear me?
Yes, Godwin, you're on live.
Okay, Babajide, congratulations on your mother's birthday.
Thank you, thank you.
There's a difference between motherhood and parenthood.
Yeah.
A mother will give birth, but a parent will train. And from the picture we have seen there, and even in your own, actions and all the things you have done, it's very clear to us and to me that your mother was not just a mother, but is equally a parent.
Thank you.
Thank you,
So to
Godwin.
that extent, congratulations to you and congratulations to your mother.
Thank you so much.
There is something particularly wrong at this time with Northern Senatorial District by-election. You are aware that almost the same thing happening in Northern Cross River State. A sitting House of Rep member who was adjudged to be authentic candidate of PDP. He even got judgment from appeal court, for which he was issued a certificate of return, and this judgment of appeal court was upheld by the Supreme Court judgment, and up till now, the Senate has refused to swear him in. I don't know whether you people have anything to say about it. And the same thing is happening in...
Thank you, Godwin. We are following it. We are monitoring that situation. Trust us, we are going to get to that. We are just monitoring the situation. At the end of the day, we'll get to that.
So, like I said, INEC should get its act right. We should know per time before the election. Look, these are the parties that were... You can't say you have... a few hours and the judgment comes and you can't make a pronouncement. If a party doesn't have a candidate, then it shouldn't, we shouldn't even be reckoning with that candidate in the first place.
I'm waiting. There are some people who think that we should not blame INEC for what has happened, that the courts have always said that the votes belong to the party. That is the problem with political judgments.
Supreme Court judgment.
It's possible at that time that that judgment was political. Because, look, parties are inanimate objects. They cannot, by themselves, campaign. They are not individuals. It's individuals who campaign. Individuals are the face of the party, and they are the candidates in an election. And people vote for candidates in an election. It's only in Nigeria that I've had this. It's only in Nigeria.
In 2007 with Celestine Omeya versus Rotimi Amici.
Yes, and that one was that was done to teach Obasanjo a lesson that impunity will not always prevail. Yes, now we are saying, oh, it is parties. Where can we take this kind of law to? That individual, and we have seen individuals that parties chose. We've seen people reject such individuals to make a point that, look, this is the person that we want.
Even in our state here in Lagos, it happened before.
So this is the thing. It can't go on like this. I think that a judicial pronouncement will come, especially given the novel situation that we found ourselves, where I think the INEC certified true copy, the certified true copy of the list of candidates came out, and for a party, the space was blank, but you returned the party winner of the election. So if technically again, the law says you must partake in every phase of an election before you can be duly declared winner, where the candidate was not listed as having contested in the election, can he be said to have taking part in that phase of the electoral process. So the courts will decide. We don't know whether.
I think it's only the Supreme Court that
yes,
can
yes, they will say. And look at you've heard some of the comments of Justice Rose River that even some of their judgments are no longer reasonable.
Yes,
you know.
Yes,
we know it too.
It always makes me to remember J.S. Oputa that the Supreme Court is final not because it is infallible, but it is infallible because it's final. But now
they are human. They can make mistakes, and we've seen. I've advocated that even in future, the Supreme Court, where there is evidence that it made a mistake in a judgment, where there is access to fresh facts in a matter, the Supreme Court should be able to go back and reverse itself. There are some countries of the world where that happens. Even Ghana now, I think they've now made it part of their law to be able to review a matter that the Supreme Court had decided. For example, if the Supreme Court ruled that somebody's life should be taken, and fresh facts now emerge to say that, to indicate that that person was not guilty, will it be not be morally sound to
go ahead and execute the person?
We have to leave it there. We'll be following this case, and we know since the Supreme Court they've adjourned synodal, so it's a big problem. I don't see.
No, maybe they will reconstitute.
No, they even have to come back now with this development. Everybody's saying we don't know how this letter came about.
The problem is now that we cannot, even the party cannot say, refuses to say that it authored the petition.
Exactly.
Okay. They may just dismiss it as something that is inconsequential because it's a faceless. It's not looking like
everybody's
authored by a faceless individual.
Even the justice said he was surprised that a governor could issue such a statement.
And the governor said they did not come from him.
All right. Now, the devastating effects of the raging insurgency in Nigeria's northeast is getting out of hand. A new report has shown that the dreaded Islamic States of West Africa province, that ISWAP, is responsible for 112 attacks in the country between the 1st of January to the 17th of March. That's within January 2021 to 17th of March 2071. The report also ranks Nigeria as the second most attacked country after Iraq within 81 days. Jide, this is a big problem.
Yes, it is.
As these people, as the Nigerian army, as we try as much as possible to confront them, they keep coming. They keep coming. Where they are seeing their people, their manpower, the funding, their ammunition, I don't understand. 121 times.
Yes, and when you look at what is happening, you look at us, you compare us to our neighbors, you see clearly now the Boko Haram problem. It is Nigeria that is bearing the brunt.
Yep.
Now, Chad suffered only one attack during that period. Since Chad served justice to Boko Haram, after that
the onslaught,
after that attack on their troops, where about 100 Chadian soldiers were lost, and Idris Deby decided to lead his troops to avenge the attack and chased Boko Haram out of the islands of Lake Chad where they were hiding. They've had only one attack this year. Only one attack. Niger Republic has suffered 9 attacks this year. It's Nigeria that has suffered 100. Now, Iraq, we are only behind Iraq. Iraq is 162 attacks. Now, these are not all the attacks that we have experienced, because Shekau's faction, the activities are not listed among
these. Yes, this is just ISWAP.
Yes. So Shekau's faction has nothing to do with it because they have ceased to have anything to do with ISIS. In 2016, when ISIS decided that it was going to recognize Abanawi over Shekau, the Boko Haram split into factions. They are doing their own. They too are carrying out many attacks. Especially attacks on communities, stealing of people's food and all that. And the rocket attack into Maiduguri recently, those ones were by Sheikh House faction. So they are not, by the time they add attacks by Sheikh House faction, definitely it will be higher than this. It shows, and we are not talking about banditry.
12.
We are not talking about banditry.
In 3 months.
Look at even the Pentagon described their tactics as staggeringly brutal. When you look at attacks on army bases, what we had in Marte, what we had in Dikwa, what we had recently in Kukawa, we are even the leader of the civilian JTF in Kukawa was killed, and our troops were killed in Kukawa. When you look at what happened again in mobile local government recently, you will agree that those attacks are indeed staggeringly brutal. And they are saying those attacks are similar to what we were experiencing in Iraq in 2014, when the Islamic states just emerged. So we have to respond appropriately, because for these attacks, you know that funding will go up for them from the parent body. They are doing this so that they can gain the attention of the parent body, so that they can provide money for ammunition, they can supply them with troops, with even mercenaries. They can give them mercenaries and all that. When the Americans and some other people warn us, it is important for us to take such warning seriously. We've been warned that ISIS is trying to find a foothold in West Africa. And right now, when they are talking about foothold in West Africa, from these figures, you know that it's Nigeria that they are talking about.
They finished Libya, they finished Mali.
It's Nigeria that they are talking about. Nigeria is how many countries they experience this kind of attacks? It's still Nigeria. If Nigeria Republic, just 9 attacks. And those 9 attacks is still themselves fighting one another. ISIS and Sheikh faction clashing in some of the Nigerian communities where they are hiding. That is where those attacks come from.
Dotun, this is very worrisome. This is worrisome. 112 between the 1st of January to the 17th of March.
Yes, I completely agree with that. But at the same time, I also think that we should count ourselves lucky that the figures in terms of casualty, they have not been too high. Because when you look at the attacks in Niger Republic, especially on their troops, the figures that they return.
Don't forget, we under-report this thing.
I agree also that it's possible we under-report. But from figures that you get from elsewhere, I think we are still very lucky, especially when you look at the number of times that we were attacked. So, but that is not to say that we don't have a serious job on our hands. My concern is how we are responding immediately. Because what we've always known in strategy should be the immediate, short-term, and long-term. We've spoken so much about waiting for this equipment, that equipment, we've paid, it's coming, and all the rest. What are the short-term plans that we have? How do we stop these people in their track? Do we even have the capacity to do so? What are the sophisticated things we have put in place to monitor, to know where they are per time? I think what we need to do now is to focus on the short term and not begin to say these fighter jets are coming in 6 months. No, what are we doing now? That's what we should be talking about. Are we recruiting more foot soldiers? Are we going to get drones to know where these people are per time, to monitor them, instead of taking off with our aircraft to do sorties and do ISR? We should be looking at what we should be doing now. Because if we are able to stop them before carrying out these attacks, it's far better for us. And that doesn't require all the big technologies. There are drones everywhere. that we can deploy.
They too are even using drones.
They are using it too to watch
against
us.
Yes,
exactly. So we should be able to do that because they know where we are per time. So can we do the same thing? If you monitor the social media of late, you would have had a report of a guy whose car was broken into here in Lagos, and he used his own personal drone to monitor where the guy who took his laptop and other things went into. He assisted the police in locating where, and he retrieved it. An individual. It might seem small, but it's big.
We can build on that.
We can build on that. What are we doing? Can we stop these attacks? Because for me, that is what others have done.
And the thing is, we are in the peak of
That's
the
what
crisis.
they have done.
We are in the peak of
This
the
is
crisis.
the time to really strike.
If by the time the rainy season comes, it will provide some cover for them by way of overgrown weeds
and the rest.
All that. And that's usually when you have an escalation in attacks. But if it is this bad, then we should be worried. They are saying ISIS in West Africa is engaging in operations that are increasingly audacious, staggeringly brutal, and warning, akin to what ISIL, as it was then known in 2014, was doing.
Syria.
So, yes.
We were operating in Syria, Iraq.
So we got to do something quickly. And as Dr. said, look, remedial measures that we can take, we have to take, and not wait quickly for long-term this thing.
I have Mrs. Ladeji from Abuja. Thank you for joining us.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, Mrs. Ladeji.
How are you today, and Dr. How are you?
We are fine,
Jide, you are greeting Mama.
Happy
birthday.
Thank you.
Thank you. This what you are talking about insurgency. I just have a feeling that the government is not ready to do anything about it. And that is the truth. There is no, you have said this several times, it's not as if anybody is deaf or blind or anything in the government. They are not just ready, they are not concerned. Because even at the level that they are following state governors, it is highly embarrassing. If they cannot do it, let them call outside people to come and help us. People.
Yes.
We go out and do it for other people. Now our own, there is something political about this situation. And the earlier they do something about it, the better. Otherwise, when people are getting fed up, government is not protecting them, then they are going to know how to protect themselves. So there will be small individual group of village Boko Haram, village banditry, village, and the government is going to find it very uncomfortable to rule people. They cannot be comfortable because people are dying every day.
Thank you.
They better do something. Thank you for all this one they are saying. It's just embarrassing that you people are trying so much, but nobody is ready to give a listening ear. But we are very grateful to you. God bless you. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
We are grateful.
Thank you. Thanks for the call.
I don't think the
government.
I don't think the government is
with this
not
situation.
prepared to take action. You can say their efforts are not yielding the required dividends, but to say
as
that,
much as we want.
Yes, but to say they are not prepared to fight
the insurgents, no,
the president has set aside plenty of money to buy weapons and all that.
The money that's
you see some of those
infrastructure.
efforts. Yes, you see some of those efforts.
Prosecuting war.
The efforts may not be enough currently, but I don't think it is right to say they are not interested.
No.
They too are not. No, are they enjoying it? After all, the president's-in-law was kidnapped.
Some of these guys can't even go to their villages.
They can't be meaningful development. You can't do business. You can't do so many
like we have said here, we cannot
safe.
afford to pile all the blames on this government. Because we lost it in those years when we thought we were at peace and nothing was going to happen to us, and we stopped funding the military. That was where we lost it. People talk about
the IBB regime.
Yes, right from there. People talk about the fact that we've gone elsewhere, Liberia, Sierra Leone, we restored order. It was easy because we had the capacity to so do. But now, what capacity do we have?
Even the trainings that our soldiers used to go for, those trainings are no longer there.
Most of the officers then, they are
Sandos.
We even had officers in Nigeria who were going to Pentagon to deliver lectures. Air Force officers, Army officers. At some point in this country, our foot soldiers were rated as the best worldwide in terms of endurance, capacity, all of it.
Infantry.
Yes. So how did we lose it?
We always excel.
How did we lose it? We were rated number one.
United Nations interim force in Lebanon, Nigerian troops played a big part. Whether in Angola, everywhere, we were always well sought after because they know that our troops will make a difference when they send them to all of those places. And we led Africa, in bringing peace to Sierra Leone, in bringing peace to Liberia. We led Africa. But today, we can barely defend our own people.
Abacha led the onslaught against John Koruma in Sierra Leone.
It's unfortunate.
It is really.
Doctor, thank you. Thank you for your contribution. Thank you so much. And BKO, are we going to Lorraine?
We do it here in Lagos.
For her when she clocked
when she was 80.
Yes, because she likes doing parties with people. Anywhere they are doing something, my mom would go there, rejoice with them. Then COVID-19 came. And we felt if we had to go there, we would go and kill those old people. Okay. So those of us here in Lagos, we decided to just stay.
Oh, yeah.
That was how the plan for the party ended.
Engineer Wale Oladipo, the president of TVC Cooperative, they are waiting for you at Ikosi Bar, and the staff at the back.
I'm also going there. I'm also going there.
Journalist Hangout say they will be waiting for you. So on behalf of Mama, thank you so much and happy birthday again to Mrs. Christiana Ebonloa to turn 81 today. Wishing you many more glorious life, but years ahead. And that's our offering today. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. You can watch the repeat broadcast tonight at 11. Don't forget to join us on Journalist Hangout on Sunday from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. We're on YouTube, youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I'm Ayodele Ozubaku. Bye for now and God bless Nigeria.